Hello, 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 TGIF, ladies and gentlemen. Put your pinky fingers to the moon and welcome to Aprok Hour on Viva Niger Radio. This is Rachel, your favorite host. We are ready to rock and roll. It's Friday. It's looking good. It's a bit chilly. Way down here in Kent, I've spoken to a couple of people, and I hear it's the same in London town. I'm not sure what's going on. We were starting to have a couple of really fantastic days, and now it's starting to get a bit cold. So, I hope you've got plans for the bank holiday weekend. I hope you're going out. I hope you're making the best use of the long weekend. I hope you're all gonna have fun. I hope you're gonna catch some fun. I have a birthday party tomorrow, which I absolutely cannot miss. But even if I didn't go for the 70th birthday party, it's one of my big mummy's birthdays. There's so many things going on in London town. You all just need to not be in your houses. Go out and get you some fun. While we're talking about fun, let's talk about something that's coming up in another couple of weeks. That will be the One African Music Fest in London. People, ain't no party like a One African Music Fest party. It will take place in the SSE Arena in Wembley. So far, the confirmed artists are. So let me start by the date, right? So it's on Saturday, the 13th May. So it's in another couple weekends up the road. It basically starts at 7 p.m. prompt. The host is Banky W. Oh, my husband in my dreams. Thank God the other ladies are not here, so they're not even able to tell you exactly how many husbands I claim to have. So far, confirmed artists are P Square, Tiwa Savage, Victoria Kimani, Olamide, Jidenna, Davido, Techno, Flavor, Nice, Fino Fino, and of course, like I said, Banky W is going to be the host. Tickets start from, in fact, I think the £25 tickets are now done. So tickets are starting from like £35. So ladies and gentlemen, grab your tickets. All the early bird tickets are gone. The only thing left is for you to be there. Come in sensible shoes. I don't know. I'm not trying to play with none of these girls who come for these concerts dressed like they're going to the nightclub. They're half naked. They got titties spilling out. They've got asses hanging out. They're in 7-inch heels. Like Olamide is going to be on the stage and I'll just be there like, this is so nice. Like, you need to get your omowobe on, right? You need to act like you know and dance like this music means something to you up in this piece. So without further ado, we are going to start on the Aprok Hour, and we do have all of the gist possible for you, and we're going to put the world to rights right here. Before we do that, let me give you the number in case you want to join us. People, you need to, if you're dialing from the UK, you need to call us on 0330 998 1261. If you're dialing in from America, the number you need to call is +1 712-770-4032. If you're dialing us from Niger, holler at us from 01-440-5024. In all instances, please do make sure that you use the access code. That access code is 264812. Once again, the access code is 264812. So before we start an Aprok Hour, I'd never do this show on my own, right? So have a couple of guests, a couple of friends in the house where we put the world to rights and we talk about all the stuff that we've been gossiping about within the last week. As Nigerians, as people of the world in general, so it's not just stuff that Nigerians have been doing and da-da-da-da. So far in the studio, I only have one guest, and that is the one and only Queen Bee of the Bad Gang Club. That's Abimbola Myomo. What it do, baby girl?
Hello. How's everybody doing? It's Friday. I don't know why I'm so happy today, but man, I normally these weekends are quiet. But it looks like I'm going to have a very fun weekend. So, if you are not having fun, so sorry, but that's not my problem.
I mean, it's unacceptable, but if that's how they live their lives, we should let them go ahead and be that way, right? Fair enough.
Exactly. Me, by my own self, I know I'm going to go enjoy.
Yeah, very okay of yourself by yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, there's so many things we have to talk about today, and I hate the fact that it's just the two of us, because one of the big issues that I want to dive in straight away, and I'm going to repeat myself real quick, if he joins us, if the voice joins us, is there is some feedback from a story we covered last week. Was it last week or a couple weeks back? Do you remember the Nigerian guy who was ranting and raving to his Oyinbo wife, talking about, oh, he wants to sleep, he wants to rest, he's not going to help with any kind of whatever. Hi, Bimbo, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, but you are so faint.
Am I?
Oh, now you're better.
Okay.
Now you're better.
Okay.
So this guy, so there's a thing flying around on WhatsApp and on social media platforms. I do not know how true this is. I've not been able to verify this, but this is what we saw on a few channels. It says, now Muyiwa Odumosu is free. He finally got what he wanted the most, a one-way ticket to his beloved country, Nigeria. He has been deported from the UK, leaving wife and children behind, and he has no one to blame but himself for all the dumb stuff he told the wife, who promptly reported it to the Home Office. Now the government will help to raise his kids, or better yet, another man comes to do what he should have done in the first place. Now, so it would seem that, you know, he got deported. She wasn't playing around, which is what we gathered, which is what we kind of thought when we saw the recording. She wasn't playing around with him, and she made sure that he got deported. Like, Shebi, you want to go home? No problem. I know exactly where they used to sell tickets for your type of people. So that being said, what do you make?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
okay. Go ahead.
What do I make the whole situation? You mean of the whole situation?
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, he got what he deserved. To be honest, really, the woman was ready to set him up. She knew what she was doing when she was recording.
Exactly.
What he was saying. She was ready to mess him up, and basically, you're telling the woman that, hey, I married you for papers. Once I get my papers, that's your own problem. Go and find your way. I'm going to go to Nigeria because all of you white people are just using me like slaves, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to help you raise the children. You'll be on your own. Every month just married you for papers. So, a woman scorned, as they say, paid his ass back. Big time.
But do you feel like...
True,
okay. Do you feel like, I mean, she wanted to go home, he's home. So who has really lost? Because now she has to be a single parent. Now whatever job he was doing and whatever work he was bringing in money. I mean, this is literally just me doing devil's advocate. I think I probably would have done exactly the same thing she did. I don't know, maybe with deeper thought I might have done something else.
Well, here's the thing. Basically. He has he's gone home, but he's not able to come back. Because when they deport your ass like that, it's like as if they leave a door open for you. So he wanted to go home, but he wanted to be able to come back
when he's ready. Yeah, when he has got all his bali and
Bali, he can be doing whatever he wants. Be having 7 women in
be coming and be going, and then when he comes back, he'll be wear big chain on his neck and all of this. So obviously all of that has been cut short.
Unfortunately now, he's been that is all gone, as done. The he can't come back. Maybe who knows, he might have been banned for several years or something. So basically, at this point, he didn't get what he wanted.
No,
he wanted to go to Nigeria, and the tickets might have not costed him any money, but it's costing
not on these terms.
Something a lot more significant to him. Because not only did he marry this woman, he made her born Peking for you. Several Pekins, not once, not twice. You're now doing, I'm going to go back to my country. I only just want something.
Because she was saying kids, wasn't she? She was saying plural. So it's not one child that they have.
Plural, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
also want kids. She was saying so. And
Mm.
to be honest, regardless of how she did him, she wasn't asking anything unreasonable.
She
She was
wasn't
not asking
asking
anything
exactly. And
unreasonable.
even if she's been stressing him in that household, even if she's
Mm.
been giving him problem or oh yes, the voice is here. This is actually not one of the topics I wanted us to talk about. But since we just got this news, so the voice was someone who had something to say on this issue when it happened. So I was hoping you would catch us while we're talking about this. Hi, Dolakbo TGIF. How you doing?
Hey, how are you all, ladies? It's
We're
Sweet
good.
We are
Friday.
good.
We're
We
good. We're good.
here.
We're good. So
We
it's just
here.
Bimbo and I that are in the house. So I want to run through this
Oh,
real
okay.
quick because it wasn't even part of the things we were meant to talk about. Did you hear the thing? You remember the guy that the Oyinbo wife recorded?
Yeah,
Well, apparently,
right,
like we
yeah,
thought it was the reason for recording it. Truly, she submitted the recording to the Home Office, who's in charge of immigrations and blah 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 blah, and he's been
right.
deported back to Nigeria, one way everlasting ticket out of the UK. So obviously, maybe the government is not going to be raising his kids and da 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 da. So I was just
Oh
having a
boy.
conversation with Bimbo about do who really won because he wanted to go home. He's now home. He wanted to didn't want to have nothing to do with the kids or raising the kids. And even when she was saying, so why can't we come to Nigeria, he point blank said, if you come to Nigeria you will die. So he's got to go home without the kids. So I mean, it almost wants to look like the thing he wanted he got. But of course Bimbo is making a very salient point, which is yes, he wanted to go home, but not on these terms. So,
He-
what would
I
you have to
agree. He
say?
definitely was not thinking about going home on these particular terms. Now,
Mm,
what I don't get is this. If we strip away all the theatrics and all the drama around it, this is
mm,
basically what I read into it.
mm.
He is not happy with his wife.
Fair enough.
Simple.
She's not
Is
happy
that
with
a
him either.
right now? Is that a basis to deport somebody? So basically now, if I go in, I come to England, I marry Briticona and
Mm.
everything. So if she doesn't like me now, then that means the marriage
No,
is over.
no, no,
Then
no,
that
no,
means
no,
we
no, no,
don't.
no, 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 no.
Because
Very,
I'm trying to
If
understand the
I
very.
marry Oyibo and I have a problem with her based on you don't cook, you don't clean, I don't like you, or you are not who you told me you are, or whatever the case may be, or you had an affair with me, it's a different matter. If you marry Oyibo, then after you are now feeling very secure and you're now telling her, see, I'm going to leave you, I'll go back to my country. If you don't know, no, now
after
you
I
plus
get
the
my
Yeah,
British
children, you can't
passport,
come.
but you
So
still,
when
you're
he
but
will
not
say,
still,
you're not
after
no,
you
making
get
it
my British
about
Rachel,
her.
passport.
Rachel,
Go ahead.
Rachel, but
Yes.
it still doesn't matter whatever it wasn't like unless we can prove that when he married her under false pretense, basically just to get papers. Unless we can actually show proof of that, regardless of whatever's happened on the, I mean, the last time I was totally on this guy's case. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as far as the results that has come out now, to me,
No.
I don't see a basis for it at all.
I
Because if
I
it was the
pers
other way
sorry,
around,
yeah.
I totally see it, yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
totally
If it
if it
was
see
the
was
other way
it.
around. Hold on, Rachel.
if it was
We've
the
just been
other,
joined by
yeah,
Rachel. Dalakwa, finish, and then Rachel, you can jump in.
yeah. Okay, if it was the other way around and it was a guy and believe me, I actually have a friend that something like that has happened to.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's the Britico.
Mm-hmm.
And the wife, I mean, basically was being a child of a big man in Nigeria. He married her, so to me there was false pretense to start with.
Mm.
Now, when everything was now starting to get all heated up around the house and everything, he kept threatening her with, I'll get you deported and everything. I don't know
Mm.
if that is what eventually happened or not, because I heard we lost contact years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
when we finally met up, and this was
Mm-hmm.
probably maybe about 15 years later,
Mm.
and we started talking, he came to Canada, went out to have a drink and everything. It wasn't a good reunion per se, because I remember telling him all the rumors I heard. And I remember telling him to his face that regardless, even if she had brought a man to your house, and slept on your bed with this guy, there is still no basis for you to now involve authorities to get her deported from that country. Go your separate way, mean go your separate way. Simple. So I don't understand. And I think with this lady, she probably has bitten on more than she can chew now, because basically, those kids, you've basically cut off any kind of contact with their father.
I don't see that he was having any kind of great parental influence in the first place. So
we don't know, but
if what he's saying is listen, she didn't come to us and say to us, now, wow, my husband, no, they do this. No, we heard his voice.
No.
We heard he said what he had to say. And what he had to say is, I will leave you here. I will abandon you. I will go to my country. I have no intention of dying in this Oyibo man's country. And no, you cannot come with me. No, I don't want no part of that. You stay home. You take care of the kids. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to take care of no... In fact, I'm talking too much. Rachel was going to say something before I forget that Rachel was on the line. TGIF, Rachel, hi. What were you about to say?
Yeah, hi. So, I have a different opinion from Delacroix, because I think this man inferred, by inference, he inferred that he simply married this woman to get the paper.
Simple.
And that's fraud by all standards. We all know that.
Simple.
That's fraud. If he was dumb
because there are wives that you can pay. There are UK is full of Lithuanian. I don't know how it is in Canada. I don't know how it is in New York. But Bimbo can attest to me that you see Middle East, Eastern European, Pole, Lithuania, Romania, blah blah, anything ending in yeah. £5,000, £7,000.
The one thing I will say with that audio tape. Right, the one thing I can say about that audio tape is one party knew they were being recorded and intentionally kept her cool.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because as far as I'm concerned, as far as I can see, this guy didn't even know he was being recorded.
Not at all.
This guy just basically went off the rails. He lost it.
When you know that.
Wait. Yeah, continue.
There are certain people. There are certain people that when they lose it, believe me, they will say things, regardless of how it may sound. They will say things just to hurt you. And believe me, and I've met people like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that they mean it. Now, if you ask her and say, but what about the children? I don't care about the children. Doesn't mean that they don't care about the children. But at this point in time, he's saying it to hurt you.
I understand that.
To hurt your feelings. And this lady knew she was doing the recording. You can hear her. You can hear her bite her tongue.
Yes.
And just basically push buttons, basically.
Yeah.
So to me, if this had happened like somebody else was just recording and both of them didn't know, I'll take that recording as, you know what, okay, this lady is just a very cool. For all I know, maybe this lady gets drunk out every night to the Super Bowl.
But you are inferring, you have decided that this guy was trapped. You are inferring. Okay, equally, I can also infer. Who knows if this guy beats her every night? I don't know anything other than the recording. All I know is this: she didn't start the recording by, when am I going to go home with you? Why don't you take me to... No, all she said was, help me around the house. The thing that was stuck in August's throat came out. If she had said, what color is the grass? It is still this, I said, they go my house and I no go carry you follow body. You and your pikin, I una go die. Me, I they go my Nigeria. That he would have still said. Because really, other than the trap that she was trying to set for him, even for me listening to that, I was like, what they're asking you is different. What you're answering is different. That means now waiting they do you, now you they talk so. Because she never said to him, oh, why did you keep me in this house? Blah, 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 blah. But if she was trying to bait him into saying something he shouldn't have, maybe look, Pekin PTA they come. I say I'm going to Nigeria. No. See, you could help me around the house. And I say I'm going to Nigeria.
The guy is a douchebag. There's no question about that. The guy is a douchebag. But I'm thinking, what she did was, I'll put my money on it. By going to, is it home office you call it, right?
Yeah.
By going to home office, she probably was trying to scare this guy straight.
Yes.
And now This has basically just
She wasn't
gone
trying to
way
scare
beyond
him.
what she wanted.
We all live here.
Because
She wanted him
believe me,
gone.
because
This was not scaring
with everything,
tactic. Us that
with
know who
everything
be
that was
home
said,
office. If you enter Croydon, you don't come out. You don't enter Croydon offices and then you are told, okay, you self, don't be telling your wife you are going to drive, you are going to leave now and you are not going to come back.
but so then explain to me what would be the basis for deporting this guy.
She's realized, okay, so let me tell you what I feel from a woman's point of view, and I could be wrong. Maybe she's now getting the memo that, so really, this guy not just sent me. So that means I was just a means to an end. That means these are Oyinbo that you know that even without paper being involved, even without anything being involved, they're happy to leave a relationship if that relationship is not favoring them. So now she's like, so I was just a pawn. So I was just a means to an end. So this guy is saying, he's not threatening her with it. He's letting it be known that as soon as my paperwork comes out, this is not a threat that, if you behave yourself, I won't go. But if you don't behave yourself, I will leave you.
Rachel, if you just indulge me,
Sure.
I'll be pausing you with every statement you make.
Mm-hmm.
So if she now says, we heard it, the guy said, as soon as my paper lands, does that mean that was his feeling? You can infer from that statement that was his feeling from the get-go. Maybe that was his feeling. Now when everything was starting to deteriorate in the marriage,
that might be his feeling when everything is okay. Let me put it to you another way. Let me say I'm a rich woman and I marry a guy who maybe initially had feelings for me. As time went on, I became an ATM to him. Now I'm looking at it that, so this guy just play me maga. This guy just built an office on my head and is just swiping me. Chin, 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 chin. He's out here in his Gucci and his Prada. If I don't cut off anything else, the rapper will cut off the access to the wealth. I will cut off that thing that you think you can get from me that made you stay in this house with me and still be exhibiting resentment.
So I go back.
No. If my gold digger was mad at me for anything else, if my gold digger was like, you don't cook up in this house, you don't do this, you don't keep a clean house, or there's something wrong with the kids, or I want kids and you say you don't. If there was something wrong with the marriage that had to do with the marriage, that would be a different problem. If the only thing I am getting to hear or getting to understand is all I am good for is for you to be up to a point where you can have your papers, I will cut off that source, that thing you are looking for, and then you reset. If it was something else that I did to you to offend you, then I would say, you did this thing wrong, or this guy is angry with you for something, then you cut off his papers. Is that good? But if you are using me for something, and it is becoming clearer and clearer to me that you are using me for something, regardless of if that is how you started or not, now I know that the only reason why you are still under this roof with me is because of these papers, and as soon as you get these papers, you're going to leave. Why should I do that for you? Why should I do that for you?
So,
why?
Okay,
Why?
I understand your point, and if I go by that narrative and just listen to you, so in that case, I should say that someone like, what's her name, Janet Jackson, regardless of whatever agreement she signed with this guy, should not get a penny because it's obvious she went in for the money.
That's up to him. If that is what he wants to do, then it's up to him to say...
No, but do you agree with that?
Yes, if you only come at me for my money and I did not know. So there's two different things. If I get into a relationship, into an aristo relationship where it is clear, this is a money relationship, money for hand, back for ground, that is a completely different thing. If I feel defrauded and deceived, if I feel like you really liked me and then I find out that all you wanted was the money, I will spend double. So say, for example, I was supposed to pay you $10 million in prenup, say, whatever that money is when we quit, alimony or whatever. I will spend 20 million on lawyers to make sure you walk away without a penny. Because it's fraud. You used me. You told me this is love, this is a relationship we're in it. Then maybe I find texts on your phone, you're chilling, you're telling all your boys, that babe na maga, that babe, I'm just using her for her money. That babe na. you will not see my. I will. You will sleep on that bridge before I'm done. I will take the shirt off your back. No, seriously. Seriously, that's how I feel. If that is the one thing that is making you deal with me, I will ensure that thing, you don't see it. If it is a financial thing, you'll say, fine boy, body not be firewood, I need you, you too, I'll be sorting you out. So, okay, here's a little flat in your name, here's a little... We all know what this is. Like I was saying, there are Eastern European women who will take their money nicely.
When we talked about this guy, I think it must have been, 2 weeks now or 3 weeks, remember? As much as I basically chastised the guy, I also made a statement that I feel like this was a guy that just lost it and was at his wit's end, and he basically was just jabbering from his mouth anyhow, he already lost it. He was over the edge on this, as far as I'm concerned. And I know I still think about it and like, okay, baby set there up. He's been set up with this recording. He knows nothing about it. And in my own view, I feel like this was a little too much because there is no winner. Nobody comes up winning in this. And that's even the children included. I don't feel like this guy completely ignored his kid. His children. I think they're more than one. If I'm wrong.
He point blank said, "If you come, you will die. Come and do what in Nigeria?" He was going to abandon them. He was going to abandon wife and kids. He had nothing like, I'm going to take my kids. There was none of that in that statement. None of it.
We should be. I feel like we should be careful. If people take what comes out of our mouth when we're angry, at times. I mean, with my wife earlier in our relationship, I don't know how many fights we've had where she told me, you know what, just get out of I want you out of my life. If that had happened, that would have been the end of it. And I know that, okay, that was anger. That was just raw, unrestricted emotional anger coming out of her. All right? So I wouldn't have taken that. Of course, I should be able to read what she actually really meant it, as opposed to she was just purely angry. And to me, I felt this guy was angry, and his frustration was like, you know what? I go to work, I jab virtually, I hardly have time to sleep. You are here, you're still asking me to sleep, get up and do this, and yet you still go out with your friends.
So why do you feel that's a possibility? What about the possibility that this is not the first time, second time, third time, or 20th time this lady is hearing this narrative, and this time she said, exactly, I'm going to record it. So if not, I agree with you. But what about if the lady too is like, if I use mouth to tell Home Office this thing, they will think it's just another embittered wife. I need to have it on evidence. I need to have it on record that this is how he carries on. How do we know that this is not the 20th, 30th, 50th time he's saying these things? That's making the woman choose this time around that, Niso Kodemalo, and I'm going to record you. So maybe that's it. Maybe she too is at the end of her tether. Maybe she too doesn't want to deal with him again. Maybe she too is looking at it that rather than being in my house where you are annoying, what are you saying? He goes out and he works, and a single lady in UK will get her benefits nicely. Her kids will go to school nicely. Her kids will get free dinners nicely. She will sleep with somebody else nicely. So why do I need this man in my house who is expressing so much vitriol at me if I don't have to deal with this? Why do I need to deal with someone saying to me, listen, I'm just waiting for my papers?
I don't, like I said, the guy is a douchebag. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with the things he said. I'm the kind of person that I'm very measured in what I say and how I say it, even the tone I use. Now, I have a friend that's over here in Canada with me, and I know how frustrated he is in his house. He doesn't say it. He goes out with his wife, and they're both smiling and everything, but he talks to me. He tells me the frustration that he...
What is frustrating him? What's frustrating him?
His frustration is basically that, you know what, I got married to this lady, we didn't have an agreement, or we didn't have... it wasn't a plan that she would be a stay-at-home mom. The whole idea was it was going to be a two-income family. We're going to be good. In fact, to support or to ensure that happened, even though the lady was a graduate from Nigeria, from University of Ado Ekiti or whatever they call it, she came here, and the guy basically still strived to make sure you can go and get a degree in whatever here from Queen's University or I don't know what school they went to. Basically, and at a point in time, the guy had a house. They had to downsize into a small condo so that she can go to school in another town, which means she had to pay for an apartment over there. And she wasn't working. And the guy was the one paying for both of them at that point in time.
Okay, now I don't understand.
And everything.
So?
What I'm saying is she graduated, she came back, now everything is fine. Because she started working for about a couple of months. Next thing you know, man, they're frustrating me. Excuse me. It's frustrating me and all that stuff. So she really doesn't want to work anymore. She wants to sell lace. And dude is like, whoa.
But the whole world is full of bad marriages, Dolapo. There's people who get married for the wrong reasons. There's people who get married for the right reasons and then change once they're married.
It doesn't mean that they're not in love. I'm just saying that she moved the goalpost. That was
fine, fantastic. If he doesn't like the goalpost, get out of the marriage. Why have you given up your whole life for some? Get out of the marriage. Even if you get out now, you may regret it, but it's still better than trying to get out 10 years down the line, add another 10 years, add another 15 years. This Oyibo was fed up. Naija too was fed up, but decided he was waiting for a certain something. That is the difference. She cut it off first. Naija, from what he was saying, was fed up. Like, I think I remember you saying something about a friend of yours that you go to their house and they're washing plates every day,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was fed up, but he wasn't prepared to leave. Now, if you're fed up and you know there's something else you're waiting for, there's lots of us. I'm fed up in my job, but I'm not about to mouth off to my boss until I get a better job.
I won't even mouth off even if I get a better
job. Do you understand? Because there you go. He puts kerosene, gasoline, burns his bridges, and I'm supposed to be here. So it's like you go into your work. Okay. Wait. It's like you go into your workplace and you say to your boss, you know what? And I'm going to tell you another thing. I hate this job. I hate you. You smell. You do this. You do this. You do this. And then we want to say, only God knows how he has. Yes. Listen, we all do things.
But he didn't know he was going to have an audience now.
Every day for the thief, one day for the owner. That means because the way he was saying that thing that he was saying, that's not the first time he was saying that thing he was saying. So he's been saying it. There's been no audience. He's been saying it. There's no audience. Today, there was an audience.
There's a Yoruba saying, "Konila kai."
Kodeni no deni.
Koni, because this is, if I'm in that kind of heated argument with my wife, and I'm all boiling up and I'm just misfiring anyhow, and she decides to keep quiet and just be asking me good questions in very well constructed English, I will press pause and say,
well done.
Very, very worried.
Caroline. Oh my gosh, Taiwo Ringtone has joined us. What is this life? We haven't even talked about the real thing. We want to. Taiwo, come. Yeah. Hello. How are you? Yes, we can hear you.
I don't dare.
My worry. We're going on to the next one. Let's talk about. Have you guys heard about Immanuel Ifediata? Ifediata. So there was a guy on Facebook. The pedophile, exactly. So we were on our own. No, you know how we like minding our business in this thing. Rachel, that was supposed to be in Nigeria. Abi, where were you meant to be? She was the one. In fact, I think she was even still at the airport. Kia, all her antennas stood up like what I don't know. She brought gist. She said it was a Facebook post. Something. The guy was saying, basically the long and short of the story is women are old. Don't deal with all these women. They are old cargo. One thing, all these old women. Then he goes, he's in a secondary school. Let me pick this up. He's a teacher in a secondary school. I want to read this out. Almost every fine girl now has the runs girl mentality. Gone are the days when ladies choose their partners based on prospects. And now it's based on the wallet. Working class ladies have also developed this runs girl mentality that my man must something provide for me financially, as if relationship is now employment. I tell you, if you need a girl who hasn't been corrupted by the runs girl mentality, you will have to keep an eye on senior secondary school girls. Once the girl you like finishes her WASC, the West African SSCE, and NECO exams, propose to her. Fiakam. These young ones are very loyal and naive. Last week, one girl I like in this Unity College where I teach, in fact, this one, they say who the gods will destroy, they will first make stupid. You could put the school address there. Approached me after their SSC exam and told me she was hungry. So I told her to go to the talk shop and take anything she wanted to eat. I expected her to consume at least 500, but by the time I came to pay the bill, the sales girl said it was 100 naira. I burst into laughter. Go and catch them young. Leave these old cargoes for those who willingly decide to be their maga. Yeah, that's exactly what she said. So let me start with the men, because I know the women will lose their God-given minds. Dolapo. Dolapo, yeah. We still have to talk on Ooni of Ife. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't even know why we have to dwell that much on this one. It's quite obvious.
So let me tell you why we need to dwell. A lot of people came out in support, and Nigeria budget. A lot of people are like, we're not saying we support him, but is what he's saying wrong? Are the girls of these days not materialistic? Has he said that they should sleep with secondary school girls? Has he spoken more that? So people were giving some kind of not full support, because nobody wanted to be burnt by the flames, because as soon as the thing came out, the flames burnt really, really high. But I saw a whole bunch of comments on Facebook that were sort of kind of almost sort of ish like support. What do you say to those people? I mean, I think this one is an everlasting bastard. He has said what he wants to say. Oh, and also, what do you say to the people who are saying he didn't encourage pedophilia? This isn't about pedophilia. He didn't say sleep with them. He's saying just be looking at them when they grow up. Propose once they graduate. Propose. That how is that pedophilia? At what point did he say?
Whether you are looking or you are touching, the point is you are interested in that.
God bless you.
And if you're interested in that, you're a pedophile. Period. There's no other definition. We don't need to. In fact, is it GSS 1 and students can define pedophilia quite well. So this is common sense. The point is you went and you've decided that older ladies who are in their 20s are way beyond your class because you're a teacher, you can't afford it. So you are so angry. You now feel like some secondary school girl that you can be buying gala for will be the ones you can charge. That's all it is.
That's exactly all it is. Taiwo, have you heard this story during the week, or do you have a position on this issue, please?
Well, what can I say? I can just support what Akwa just said. He just point blank, full stop, pedophilia. There's no question about it. You can't be saying, okay, that's grooming. That's a form of grooming. Okay.
Simple. That's the word.
We're looking at that, rather like make sure she's not looking at someone else. Be keeping her on the side. That's just form of grooming. That's illegal stuff, mate. Doing that.
Yeah, and that's the grooming that Stephanie was looking for, but she don't hold past that level.
She don't. Now she's saying assault, and she don't see grooming. She's saying assault. So let me speak to the ladies. Rachel, you there? Because now you bring this matter. We were on our own.
I'm here, chief Aprok person. Anyway, the man has said it all. It is pedophilia, it is the desire. I think what scares me, apart from the pedophilia tendency, why does he feel, or why do young men, emphasis on young boys today, Nigerian young boys, feel that they have to control a woman or the woman in their life?
Thank you.
I mean, that Nigerian society is bad. I don't know. But it's just wrong. We've lost all our sense of culture, like I keep saying. We've got no decency at all. Everything is just
decency. We'll soon talk about Akiolu. So, and that was what I got out of it, because this is what I said. I wrote an article on this, and I said Immanuel Ifediata is so much worse than a pedophile. He's a misogynistic, controlling child abuser, because he used words like they are naive, they are loyal. He wasn't perving on young breasts, fresh thighs. Oh, see as their dates, their kiko, this their shuku fits them. He was talking about she's not eating 500. This one, akpami shika. That is what he was saying. He was saying, don't talk to a woman who is your equal. Don't talk to a woman who will have high expectations of you. There's a girl I like. So he's already looking at her with a liking in his eye, which no teacher should have. A girl I like in the school who told me she was hungry. For a girl to have that kind of a relationship with you, you have crossed boundaries already. I told her to go to the talk shop and take anything that she wanted. So you have no problems with Ron's girls. You have no problems catering to their needs. You have no problems feeding a girl or being the one responsible for her expenses. You just want it on a lesser scale that you feel you can afford, and therefore she will look at you as her god, her hero. Oh, he's the one who takes care of me, he's the one who puts food in my mouth, before she has had a chance to see the world and see what she can become in this life. As soon as she graduates SS3, you want to propose and marry her. Ancestors, world people.
I think even that him saying propose and marry at that point, I don't think this guy actually even thinks about marriage or anything like that. And that's him just trying to basically edit and caution
put
the
put a wholesome view to it. Because if you give the girl 100 naira egg roll, tomorrow you buy 50 naira moi moi inside metal cup. Next tomorrow you give her la casera. Ifediata go fuck that girl before they graduate. Simple. Ifediata, Oma Fedisi Omoyeni, before they graduate, something will happen.
I there is something that I just don't get it. Maybe it could be a medical condition. Maybe it's just some chemical imbalance or whatever it is. There are certain ages as a guy that you would, and maybe for ladies, it's you look at much older people or much bigger age gap. When you're in secondary school, okay, you're in Form 5, you probably look at a Form 3 girl. That is
yes.
it. You won't be looking at Form 1. So and as you progress further to university, by the time you yourself you go to first year, maybe that girlfriend is still in her last year in secondary school. But by the time in second year, you don't want to deal with a secondary school girl anymore. Talk less of a teacher who you are in a position of trust. Believe me, if I should ever find out that was my daughter that you were eyeing,
that you bought 100 naira egg roll for,
you know what that life in prison I'm willing to do.
Oh, Nishebemo, let's just put it that way.
Let me say something that may come out as unpopular. The underlying thing is parents also need to teach. Girls have to be, or children have to be taught not to expose themselves. Why are you going to meet some random person you don't know, say you're hungry? They didn't decide.
Yeah, but that's a teacher. If you relate with your teacher.
No.
So I agree. I understand what Rachel is saying. If like the way we teach small children, any guy comes to the school gates and offer you sweeties, don't collect sweeties from anybody, don't talk to strangers and everything. We have to teach our young girls, listen, he is your teacher. You go to the class, you collect the teaching, you do what? You go back to your hostel.
You see, because of my stubbornness and everything, I went to 2 secondary schools, all right? I was admitted in FGC Lorry, so I was in a boarding house. Now, when I went there, my mom specifically handed me over to 2 teachers there, and I was still Mr. Obrota, Mrs. Adejuigbe. I remember and the school had its own staff quarters, and these were the teacher's house that I go to even on the weekends. Sometimes I'll be hungry. I'm very hungry because I've
That's
eaten
the culture I'm saying we need to change.
Right.
No. That's different. Those are if those are your guardians. That's the person that have handed you over.
We need to change.
You can't change that culture, right? Because
no, we have to, because it's not strangers. You know, the likelihood of strangers hurting children is less than the people we hand them
over to.
Yeah.
So we really need to turn it around.
1 minute, Taiwo. Okay, so Taiwo, what were you about to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, the girl she just don't wake up one day and say, oh, let me go to my teacher and ask for food. There would have been the guy said there's a girl that he liked. So there must have been like a form of contact between them two before.
He had been grooming her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the poor girl was innocent.
Even though they have trained the girl, don't buy this from strangers, don't do that. When you know your teacher likes you,
you'll be thinking it's just teacher's pets. Oh, I'm the one he calls to bring his books after class. I'm the one he calls to blah blah blah. You'll be thinking it's teacher's pet things until you find yourself naked in front. I mean, he's disgusting. He's
and I agree with all of that, and that's what I'm saying. We need the parenting of today is not the same as 20, 30, 40 years ago. Now, parents need to teach their daughters about the fact that teacher that likes you so much, or that uncle around the corner that gives you that sweet and is that nice, may not really be a nice person, maybe a monster and a wolf in sheep's clothing. We cannot do it like 20, 30, 40 years. The teacher, and he has your good intentions at heart. Not anymore, because it is uncles, teachers, friends that are harming children.
I'll take that.
Immanuel, your teacher, be someone else outside. What I'm saying is like, it's relative. I was watching some videos on YouTube the other day, or maybe YouTube or Facebook. This girl brought a guy home to meet a father to, okay, this is the guy I want to marry, and that. So the guy was interrogating him, saying, what do you do? What's your business? The guy said, oh, he's doing computer stuff where he does e-marketing. So the father now went, e-marketing, can that buy stuff? Can I buy stuff? The guy went, no, he can't buy this. So the guy went, he can't marry the guy because he's not a lawyer, he's not an engineer, he's not this. So, but the guy after the day, okay, daddy.
That's it.
I'm not my son. The guy, I got 100,000. The guy doesn't pay 100,000. Okay. So, well done, son. He now change his mind. So, now for a man to tell his daughter, don't go with this guy or don't go with this. When the woman and the girls are bringing more money home than your dad, the guy now, it'll be afraid for everybody now. The father will be compromised. Especially in Nigerian situation, we will be compromised. It's
amazing how much money plays a big role, albeit very wrong. But in terms of everything that we do, we have to be very careful. There's a fine line to walk there where you tell your kids, don't talk to strangers, don't deal with strangers. As a girl, be careful of men, blah, blah, this and that. But at the same time, you're also wary because you don't want them to teach. You don't want to teach them things where their default setting will always
paranoia.
Be dangerous, right?
It's just. But here's the thing. We could talk about this all day. The fact still remains, yes, let's deal with the kids on another day. Let's watch our children. Let's listen to our children. Let our children feel open enough. Like if a child was to come to you every day, they only talk about Mr. Ifediata, Mr. Ifediata. Oh, Mr. Ifediata, oh, it's so nice. Oh, Mr. Ifediata. We too, the parents, we should learn to read between the lines, blah, 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 blah. This boy, he was wrong. We can talk about what the kid, should the kid have collected the 100 naira? Should the kid have gone to the teacher and said, I'm hungry or whatever? But if we have any inclination that there might be a teacher out there who has impure thoughts, and what's even annoying about it is not even good enough that he's running his own little campaign of who to his own little audition within a secondary school. You go on Facebook and advertise. You recruit groomers and you say to them, if you need a small girl or if you need loyal or naive girl or more, secondary school is the place to go. that is what is so abhorrent. The lack of remorse, and the people who came out to fight and to support and to say, that's not quite what he's saying. What he's actually saying is, this is his, reading between the lines. Some people turned it into it's a feminist thing. Oh, these feminists, everything they will fight for. Is that what he said? Did he say he slept with a girl? Did he say, oh, you feminists? Like, what's this got to do with feminism? I don't even understand what we're even talking about anymore.
That is what I don't understand. But
and
you know what?
the school was and the people, a whole bunch of people called up the school, complained to the principal, all sorts of things. There was a rumor on Facebook 3 days ago that he had actually been relieved of his position and has been fired. Or the one rumor was he was suspended. Another rumor was he was actually the contract was completely terminated. And people said, are you people happy now? Are you people happy now? You cost an innocent man his job. You people will just I'm like, he said he liked a secondary school girl. He told people to come shopping for naive and young and girlless girls. How can that sit well with you at all? At all. So, I mean, I have no remorse about any of the things I said and wrote about him. I have no problems with, I hope he never gets to work near a school again. Unfortunately, this is Nigeria. There's no telling what might happen, but there we go. Ooni of Ife, Oba of Lagos. Oya, Dolakbo, talk it.
Well, I hope there are no Lagos indigenous here before you all just cut my head off. You know,
there's Lagos indigenous here. There's no more Ikorodu.
Don't worry, I will take care of her. I will go and bribe her. Dolakbo, say what you want to say.
Ikorodu, your energy. That's your energy, girl. All right, so don't forget that. This man just lacks respect. He lacks upbringing. And we can see the policeman in him. Right? As far as I'm concerned. I've even legally tried, I've read a couple of, reasons being brought up for his action, including himself saying that is the way you greet me. I'm sorry.
Then we too will greet him like that. The next time anybody sees Oba, just wave at him.
If that is the way he greets, when they have the council of whatever Oba, whatever they do, and somebody comes in and the governor, will his ass not stand up?
Thank you. Then I heard another one that they said, he has glaucoma, so he didn't actually see the person who was approaching him, who was talking to him. That he didn't even know who it was, that when the person bent towards him, because that's the way subjects greet, he just assumed it was a subject and waved the person away, which again to me suggests, if that is the way because I've seen the Ooni of Ife and the way he deals with subjects, the way he deals with other Yoruba people, he doesn't wave at them. So Akiolu,
even if that is the way, if that is the tradition, and we want to accept that, I have seen a picture of what they claim to be Tinubu's son pulling this Oba Akiolu's biabia, physically pulling the biabia. And you're not telling me suddenly now that you want to become more royal again.
Exactly.
This is how
you've now royal to who? The Oni that Obasanjo prostrated for. The Oni that Obasanjo prostrated for. And we have to think about the kingmakers and the people who say, oh yes, let a policeman who probably didn't collect enough egunje that, I said it, on some days I'm Shekiri, they should come and beat me. So, I mean, he was bang out of order, and the only thing I think he could have done is just keep quiet and let it blow over. But this is the same person who said all Igbos should go and die in the lagoon. So I didn't expect him to keep quiet or his team to keep quiet. He is cantankerous. He likes trouble. He's feisty. And I expected him to come up. I didn't expect any of these lame excuses, but I did expect him to come up with something. And so he did. The only thing I'll say on this
I heard a story as to what happened also. I don't know if you've read that one about the Oni being invited to an event, Commonwealth event. And Oni basically picked up the phone and called the Alake and Alafi and Ujale and Oba of Lagos to let them know and all of them wished him well and everything, except for the Oba of Lagos, who basically said that the Ooni should boycott the event because he felt slighted that he wasn't invited to.
Okay.
So that is the genesis of the beef. But regardless of whether there is beef or not, you stop. I mean, I don't know. We've lost how to behave now. Now we have an Oba that is behaving like Donald Trump.
Worse.
I don't get it.
Worse.
I have.
Go ahead,
I
Rachel.
have one thought on this.
Go ahead.
I have one thought on this, which I posted in your article. The Ooni of Ife, and I admire him. However, he should exercise his power. You don't suffer that kind of insult. Just like the Oba of Benin, when the chief Isekure was misbehaving, the man roared and the chief fell. This chief is a very powerful chief in the Benin kingdom. But you do not insult the Oba. So,
but unfortunately,
he can't. If
this was 100 years ago. If this was 100 years ago, they would have marched around me down to the palace there from Ife and raised the whole thing down.
You know, whatever needs to fly today, he should be suspended. He should be sanctioned.
But you see, I think he did the right thing by being humble, but he also got the mic later at that event, and he basically told them the history of Lagos. And I felt like the portion where he spoke about how Lagos was founded by a prince from Ile-Ife. He must have said that very clearly and slowly for
by the way,
Lagos to hear.
You are my son. You are not even you are my son.
Yes, no, seriously, they should suspend him, sanction him, take away his financial benefits, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Let him come put it.
And the funny thing is, it's just because we call him Oba of Lagos. He's not Oba of Lagos really per se when you look at his kingdom. His kingdom is because yes, there are bigger Obas in Lagos State in terms of kingdom size. The Elegushi is bigger. The one in Ekpa is bigger.
The Elegushi, he said, No.
So all he controls is that little portion of Lagos Island, really.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's fair to say that he raised a lot of and the funny thing is a lot of princes, a lot of Obas weighed in on it, and I think he's going to be persona non grata in the Yorubaland. He was doing it against Igbos, and people were like, well, we are king, so the soba or what have you, kabiosi and all of this, and who are we to question the king? But this one is slight against the Ooni of Ife. I don't think this will end. I think even if the Ooni of Ife is to turn around and say, sorry, who's
I think he's going to get slighted by.
Yes, I think even if the Ooni of Ife says, oh, I'm fine with it, I've forgiven him, I don't have a problem with him, I think other Obas will take it personally and take it upon themselves. So, yeah,
I don't think he will do it. I think they will make the point for him. So he wouldn't need to do it. It's like that one where you don't have to worry about your power. You have to try and
you have goons.
Expect him to do it for him.
When you have goons. Let's move on to the next story.
Before you move on, can I ask a question? Yeah, Donapa, did Ooni of Ife ever collected Scala from you?
Collect what?
Scala.
Oh, yeah, in Loyola College. No, I think if we probably met in school, he must have just entered Loyola Form 1 when I left.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
But
now if I see him now, I'll have to just prostrate for him.
He's our king. He's our king. So I want to quickly touch on Emmanuel Macron. I don't think there's anything left to be said because a lot of Nigerians were saying, what Ifediata was saying, and then a couple days later it came out that there was this presidential candidate in France who is actually 24 years younger than his wife. And he was actually in school when they met. She was his teacher. And people were saying, okay, so what's the difference now? How can Nigerians feel and said, the people that condemned Ifediata were actually hypocrites because here's a young boy who married his teacher years down the line. So, does anybody want to touch on this at all? I mean, I have my own opinions in it, but I'm curious to see what people.
Let me quickly get in here.
Bimbo, can you come in, please?
Oh, sorry, is it me? Me?
I thought you were speaking.
Oh, yes, I was. So basically, these people that are talking, obviously, I don't understand who they are, but they really need to think about it. So at this point, the guy is a grown-ass man. She's no longer his teacher. She never groomed him. They bring their separate ways. And then they now met in future when he was an adult. He thought, wow, okay, you might have been my
you want to be dating romantic picture here.
Yeah, wait, let Olopa tell the story. Tajare, fine boy.
15-year-old boy and his teacher. And the guy was like, I will marry you. And she too was giggling like a dick. Who knows what else has transpired at that point in time? We don't know. We don't know. Just like we don't know in the other cases we've talked about. But don't let us paint this romantic picture like they just happen to have met later in life.
Yeah,
who knows whether something happened?
It doesn't matter. At least she waited to marry him, and she did. It wasn't like as if it was a year later or 2 years. Whether it happened or not, nobody knows about that.
But you do realize that by that statement, then we should go back to the first Emmanuel guy and say, you know what, he did nothing wrong.
Let me tell you what Emmanuel did wrong in my eyes. Emmanuel not only made it okay, and this is what I'm saying. If this teacher, Brigitte Macron, as she now is, if she went on a public forum and says, listen, there's some boys in the class I'm teaching right now. Oh my gosh, I know they're young, but they have all these little muscles going on. And I know they're young, but they're good for one or two things. She would be wrong. The world is full of little boys who had crushes on at least one teacher. Every school had one hot teacher. That he grew up and married his teacher, that is his problem. That the teacher agreed to marry him, that is her problem.
You know
is
what?
it 100% kosher?
For me to fight with all of you today.
I can see.
Girls to have all that crush. You have all that crush.
When I
listen to my wife talk about secondary school with all their teachers, NYCT, man, you guys are you are raw more than us.
No, we are disgusting. That I know. Girls are disgusting. The difference is the teacher does not get to act on that thing when that person is your student. If there is any proof, any evidence whatsoever, and we're talking France here, that their own moral compass is skew with, to say the least. If there is any proof whatsoever that there was anything inappropriate going on while they had a teacher and student relationship, and that still went on, then, that is a big failure on France's part to deal with that. If you have a crush on your secondary school teacher and then you went on to marry your secondary school teacher, however wrinkled he will now be after secondary school or whatever, that's your problem. If you want a relationship with a 23-year gap, 24-year gap, 50-year gap, dato, I really don't have a problem with it. My problem is, first of all, grooming. Second of all, inappropriate behavior between someone within a position of authority and the person that has been entrusted in that authority. So, for example, a boy might be 16, 17, even 18 years old, and you are the father of the church, and this boy is in the choir. That is a problem. When you are in a position of authority and that person has been entrusted into your authority, that is why I have a problem. After the fact, you can, and even up until university, at least here in the UK, I know for a fact, a lecturer cannot date a student. Cannot, because the school cannot in any way rightly divine if this is really, really love, even though some of these people are way beyond the age of emancipation, or if it is for marks, and if the pedigree of their degree is compromised in any way, shape, or form. The second that person drops their pen, that is your problem. But if that Mrs. Macron was going around all the secondary schools saying, you people have not seen anything until you come and see secondary school boys. Hey, if you see their small muscles that they are growing, that's the problem. you don't exhibit your grooming and say, you people come and shop, catch them young. What is catch them young? Are you a fisherman? What's your problem?
That's true.
Hey, you make a compelling argument. Like I said, mine is with the second Emmanuel. As far as I'm concerned, we don't know what happened. And I don't want us painting that picture of like it was, he liked her and he was determined that he was going to make her his wife, even though he was just 15.
I agree with you. Let's not, this is no M and B, but it's also not my business either. That's what I'm trying to say. If there was no proof of hanky-panky in the secondary school.
It's a beautiful story. Yeah,
I don't know about that. I don't know about none of that. Because when...
That's what it is.
I don't know about none of that. I don't know about beautiful story. Last story.
It goes to show you that love is deeper than just the outside.
Oh, the Kegu. I've seen the girl. The love is... I be the woman. Then I've seen our mommy. The love is truly deeper than outside. So, last story. This man that stole money and gave his wife 35,000. So he stole $2,600. And then he changed some of the money, gave his mother, sweet mother, I don't go forget you, gave her 5,000 naira, gave the wife that he married and put in the house 35K, gave his girlfriend $1,000. And they caught him.
It's by their performance you will know.
So they were paid according to their performance. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, so that was a performance review.
A one-on-one. End of contract review. Oh my God.
Because you look at it, for mommy, you can't do anything for me anymore. Thank you for all those years. For the wife, he said, you need to step up, otherwise you're not going to move into management at this rate. And the girlfriend is like, you are always trying. I can see you putting 110% into this. That was performance review for all the women in his life.
You people are not nice at all. You people are not nice. Dolapo. I said Dolapo. Taiwo only ringtone. So if you go and steal 2006, how much will you give me inside?
You. What's mine is yours.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Niger man, sharp to the core.
As in, he didn't even stutter, He was just in there. What's yours is what's mine is yours. Until he has the 2006, then he starts counting. But this page yourself, what did she even do for me? You guys, we have completely overrun. We're 10 minutes. Rachel Yankee just brought a story about Mercy Aigbe. She seems to have undergone some sort of domestic violence. First of all, we're completely out of time, and secondly, I'm gonna need more details on this. But from all the pictures I can see, one eye is swollen shut, all sorts of bruises all over her face and body. We don't know. Rachel says this is not makeup for an acting gig or anything. I don't even know what to make of this. I do hope she's safe, and I hope she's okay. And this is not any kind of DV, but I just can't believe the pictures that have just come out this evening. I guess at this point, I would say this is the end of Aprok Hour. And I see that we were joined at some point with Nkirika, but she never said a word. Nkirika, is that how you used to do?
No, it's not so.
Yeah, you sound completely shattered, In
fact, it's been a long, drastic week. But you know what? I'm alive. I can live to see tomorrow. It's fine. I was just listening. It was really interesting. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, bless you. But thank you for joining us. Oh, yeah. Everybody say good night, good night, good night. Bimbo, yeah, start.
Good night. Bye, guys. See you next Wednesday.
Taiwo, only $1,000. Oh, yeah.
Baby me. Good night,
Rachel Yankee, oh yeah, so talk your own.
Good night from New York. Talk to you guys on Wednesday.
Good night. Dolapo, a quick one.
Good night, everyone. Y'all have a safe weekend there.
Thank you. And because I don't even know why my village people don't want me to be great. I actually forgot Inkiru on Talking Drum. So Inkiru is going to see us out and tell us all a wonderful good night and bank holiday weekend good night.
Yes, good night, everyone. It was lovely. I heard everyone's conversations. Hope everyone stays safe. It's a long weekend. Enjoy. If you can't enjoy, stay indoors and be happy. Love you all on the show. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you all for staying with us. I know we did overshoot a little bit. We will be back next Friday at 7 p.m. Have a fantastic bank holiday weekend. For those of you who have an extra day off on Monday. For those of you who don't, I don't know what to tell you. Move to the UK and come make it do what it do. You go and sleep on Sunday and go to work on Monday. We're chilling. So for those of you who have fantastic weather, get your barbecues, make it on and popping, go clubbing, do something nice. Take care of yourselves and of each other. Have a good night and God bless you.
Night.
Night.